Leave the memories alone, 'cause TNA won't die. Da-na-na-na. There it used to be. February 8th, 2024. TNA edition. It's the worst show of the week. PW Mania has labelled this TNA Impact as TNA Impact is back with another stacked card for Osceola Heritage Park in Orlando, Florida. The Impact Zone. When was the last time TNA had a stacked card? I mean, we're probably looking at nearly I say nearly a decade. I'd say over a decade ago since I had a stacked card. To be brutally honest, but here, 2024 TNA sacked Scott D'Amore. Let's see. This is the first Impact post Scott D'Amore, even though it's all taped and therefore we won't actually really know when the first Impact is without Scott D'Amore. But anyway. We have our first match of the evening. We have John Skylar White. Not quite as bad as Skylar White, but nonetheless, John Skylar is defeated here by Chris Sabin. It's his finisher move. No idea what Chris Sabin's finishing move is, but yeah, Chris Sabin gets the victory. He then gets interviewed after the match by some woman. I've no idea. He says, right, yeah, you know what, I'm taking on Eddie Edwards tonight. The system weren't team players. They weren't symbolic. All that thing. Symbiotic. Eddie, I've made Eddie my own wee voodoo doll later on tonight. It's like, what? What are you talking about? Alex then says, oh, the other members are going to feel Eddie's pain. It's like, all right, man. I think you need to lay off the Animal Planet channel. All this voodoo talk, pish, man. What is going on? But anyway, enough about voodoo dolls. I mean, Alex Shelley, he's just mince, isn't he, man? It's like, when Alex Shelley's some of the best things you've got going in your company, I think you've got serious issues, to be perfectly honest. I really do stand by that. And for big Alex Shelley here, he's a part of the brand. He's a part of the TNA. He's like part of the furniture, man. You just can't get rid of the guy. Just can't get rid of the guy. It's kind of funny, to be honest. But anyway, let's move on to our next match, of course, here on TNA. Cross the line, not quite Scott D'Amore. But yeah, we've got Sia Brookside taking on Tasha Steelz. There's a handful of tights in there after a sunset flip there for Tasha Steelz. So Steelz beat Brookside. We then have a backstage promo with ABC, which of course consists of Ace Austin and Chris Bye. They said that the grizzled young vets were handed a tag team title shot on their first day, but they lost. But said the vets took them to the limit, but took a shortcut to win. Chris Bay said they had no love for the GYVs, and the vets attacked them from behind and closed the lid of a trunk on Ace's arm. Security broke it up. So you've got a bit of chaos happening, to say the least. You've got absolute bedlam, pandemonium going on here in the Impact Zone. I mean, young grizzled veterans, they were doing pretty much hee-haw in NXT. They go to TNA and it's like they're treating them like it's the Road Warriors or something, man. I think it kind of just sums up the sad state of affairs that's actually going on with TNA right now. But end of the day, we move. Here we go. Anyway, next match, we got Speedball. Mike Bailey taking on Zachary Wentz. Again, it's like, just look at these matches. Like, if TNA's... But then, I'm not going to lie and say, like, AEW doesn't have jobbers like this, because, hell, they've got a lot of jobbers like this. I'm not going to be delusional. I'm not going to fucking lie about it. But I just look at, like, TNA, and they are just a wee bit a step below AEW. Well, I'll say a wee bit a step below AEW. Like, even the jobbers in AEW don't feel as jobber as just half the people in TNA, if you catch my saying. But, yeah, after the match, after Zachary Wentz defeats Speedball, Mac Bailey. After the match, the Rascals start attacking Speedball, but then Trent Seven makes a save. Steve Macklin attacks both of them until Nick Nemeth, the guys whose wages have probably sacked Scott D'Amore, he comes down to the ring. There's a bit of a brawl, all that good stuff. We then get a promo from Khan. He starts claiming that he's the baddest man in TNA. Then he screamed. We see footage of Crazy Steve attacking Rhino on Explosion. It's mad. Like, Rhino should be booked in such a prominent role in TNA, and yet here he is, booked. I mean, Explosion. TNA should do away with Explosion. Their entire card today feels like Explosion, so honestly, what is the actual need of it being here? It's kind of mad to think that's what's going on, but Anyway, guys, we've got to move on, don't we? Because we've got Rhino. He's going to take the digital media title away for Crazy Steve next week. So, hell yeah. Is he going to do that? I'm not too sure. But I'd like to see Rhino personally in the main event scene. But yeah, we can't all get what we wish for. But I like seeing Rhino promos. I've always liked Rhino, whether it be ECW, WWE, TNA, whatever. Wherever he goes, hell's he nice. I was going to say AEW. He's not been in AEW, but yeah, I like Rhino. I like the War Machine. Gets me pumped for war. Cross the line. Up next, we've got Giselle Shaw and Savannah Evans taking on Jordana Grace and Trinity. And what was funny about this match is, what's Giselle Shaw? What's her future hold? Of course, with the sacking of Robert the Bruce. No. We're talking about that guy, that big jobber guy, Scott D'Amore. What's going to happen with him? Well, yeah, what's going to happen with him? I mean, that terminology can still be used for Giselle Shaw, but they did lose this match. I believe this was Trinity's last match in TNA, so how's this going to go? We're not really too sure. Will she be back in the company? No, it looks like she's back to WWE after, I mean, if we're being honest, a bit of what could she have done in TNA, though, for me to pretend it was great here on this channel? You people know us. We're fucking wrestling. TNA's pish. I can't hype up. I'm sorry. Backstage, we got AJ Francis. He asked Diener for help backstage because Diener said Joe Hendry's name. Joe Hendry. Then Joe Hendry interrupts him. Diener then tells Hendry to never speak for him again. Never speak for me again. For the memories that I want you. And this is what it used to be. Con then defeats Ori Gold and Richie Ordonis via pinfall. I mean, after the match, you've got Con hitting Adonis's neck. He was going to do the same to Gold, but after the lights went out, PCO came to life. He did that same thing. You got PCO and Con fighting off the security. I like the PCO gimmick, but Jesus Christ, like, what's the longevity here? Like, the guy's like 57. I mean, come on. He can't wrestle for like another 20 years, can he? But the crowds are chanting PCO. Con then knocked PCO down the ramp. He rises up and they fought again. So yeah, if you don't like it, then fuck off. Then we had Alan Angels taking on Josh Alexander. Bit of a beat down before the match. So yeah, this didn't really work for me. But yeah, Josh Alexander defeated Alan Angels. After the match, though, someone jumped at the crowd wearing a mask. They took off the mask. It was Simon Gotch. Yeah, because you know what? See, signing someone like signing Gotch to your company, that's going to be the difference maker. That's going to take you to the promised land. Said no one ever. We then have our main event, guys. It's Eddie Edwards against Alex Shelley. Again, there's just not an awful lot to talk about here. Alex Shelley wins, which is all good in the hood. After the match, Brian Myers came down to help Eddie attack Shelley, but then Kushida and Kevin Knight ran them off after the match, so it was absolute craziness. But then we got like a bit of a hype package. Type up next week. Next week we're going to see Crazy Steve defending the digital media title against Rhino, plus round 2 of Grizzled Young Veterans against ABC, Moose vs. Kushida, and so much more. Was it enough, though, for Big Stevie to rate this TNA Impact a decent rating? Honestly, no. I expected more for TNA. I'm not going to pretend I thought it would go back to, like, prime TNA, but they've hyped up this new era. TNA's come back, and I think it's flopped, man. I'm not going to beat around the bush. I think TNA's flopped. I'm going to give this show a 1 out of 10. It's fucking dead. There's no stars, right? Like, we talk about Cody Rhodes being a mid-carder. Compare Cody Rhodes to anyone in this company, man. It's night and day. Night and day. This company's dead. Honestly, man. They'd be as well just showing the library for 2 hours a week instead of any potential news shit, because that's the only thing we care about, the TNA library with Kurt Angle and people like that. Anyway, guys, till next time, 1 out of 10. Peace.